he talked about the schools needing to be open. And I don't think there's a lot of Democrats out there who really want them closed either. Helen, you're next with Grace on the Grace Curley Show. Go ahead, Helen.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead, Helen.
Okay. I have to disagree with you about the schools with teachers. I have 5 teachers in my family, and they want to get back to school, but not until they're vaccinated. You're in a classroom with 25 kids, and I heard a previous caller saying something about the parents aren't responsible. Do you know how many kids come to school sick? And no sooner are they in the classroom, they have.
But Helen, that's been Helen. Let me stop you there for a second. That's been the case since schools were created. If you work in a school, there's going to be kids with runny noses and kids with coughs and kids with stomach bugs. The nurses.
Exactly, but the only issue is those teachers have to go home to elderly parents, to maybe, who knows what living situation they're in.
Okay, now Helen, can I?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I interrupt people. It's just for the timing of it. I have to get enough callers in. But Helen, my question for you is, so once the elderly people are vaccinated, so that if a young teacher is going in, and to your point, she's scared she's going to bring it home to her grandmother, once her grandmother's vaccinated, which is, we're getting closer to that point. Do you see what I'm saying, Helen? It's never going to...
Yes, I do, but it's not only the elderly that can get it. Maybe you have to listen to the news a little bit more, or look into the medical...
Helen, I'm following the science here. The science, CDC says it's safe for these kids to be back in school. The only one out of the two of us... And I got to take a deep breath because now you're getting under my skin a little bit. The only one out of the two of us who is not following the science or following the news is you. The science says it's okay. Just because, people are scared that it's not 150% safe for them, I have news for you. Nothing's 150% safe.
How many people are in the room that you're in for only 3 hours a day?
Helen, I see a lot of people. What about, hey, what about the grocery store people? Do you think that...
people go in and out at the grocery store. They're not faced with the same 25 kids for how many hours a day?
Helen, the kids don't even transmit the virus at the same rate as adults do. They transmit...
Not at the same rate, and I believe the virus is still new, that we don't know everything about it.
Well, we're heading into the first official anniversary of the lockdowns. Helen, remember 15 days to slow the spread, or to bend the curve? When do you think the kids should go back? When everyone's 1,000%? When there's when the teachers are vaccinated,
Baker vaccinated prisoners before teachers. Now, okay, but not all prisoners were vaccinated. They had a choice whether they wanted to be or not.
So what's your point?
My point is that it wasn't, why did he put the prisoners first? If it was mandatory that every prisoner had to be vaccinated, okay, but it wasn't. And, a big percentage, almost half the prisoners didn't want to be. So that could cause an outbreak right there where all the prisoners weren't vaccinated.
You can't force people to get vaccinated. We're seeing that right now. There's plenty of people who could get vaccinated who don't want to. Part of that is because your president, Joe Biden, really made people skeptical of this vaccine when it first came out. Helen, I don't understand at what point you will wake up and say, enough is enough. And you claim it's when all the teachers are vaccinated. That's what you're saying now. But I'm sure about a month ago you were saying, well, we need the the relief bill, and we need the PPE, and we need the plexiglass. Moving the goalposts has become such a habit of the left, and I can't keep up with it. I don't know why I was so afraid of this kind of call where it's like, well, you don't understand. You don't teach kids. I don't really care anymore. I really don't care. I don't teach kids. I'm not a teacher. I know a lot of teachers who want to get back to school, but this is getting crazy. And I disagree with you 1,000%. I totally disagree with you. I think these teachers are being, maybe not the teachers, but the teachers' unions are being selfish and destructive. And that's just where we agree to disagree. Thank you for the call, Helen. Chris, go ahead. You're next with Grace on the Grace Curley Show.
Good afternoon. I enjoy listening to you. Hey, Helen is crackers. She's one of these people, I guarantee, that drives around in a car by herself with the mask on. Ugh. And if her lazy kids don't want to go to school, then let them put up a help wanted sign. This is great advertisement for the charter schools. And last but not least, I think it's all based. They're going to say, well, it's about class size. And I've pinned down a couple of teachers. I said, well, what's the class size? Is 20 too much? Well, I don't know. I said it, and I worked it all the way down. I said, is 10 too much? Well, it depends on that's what it's all about. I think they want to get the class size so low that they'll have to hire more teachers, and that's where the union comes in, because there'll be more teachers. There'll be more dues paid by the teachers.
Yeah, no.
Send off to
Chris.
Hey,
Chris.
that Uncle Joe, keep those. That's all I got. If you want to intervene, go ahead.
No, Chris, I totally agree with you. I'm blown away that people actually think this. I understand people who call up and say, oh, not all the teachers feel the way of the teachers union. I get that, defending teachers. But to call up and say, you do agree with this? You think this actually makes sense? And then this guy from Berkeley is dropping his kid off at in-person learning, but you expect the rest of us to believe that you're all on the level and you just care about your safety? I'm calling BS big time. John, you're next with Grace on the Grace Curley Show. Go ahead, John.
Hi, Grace. How's it going?
Good.
Grace, I work for the Postal Service, and when does Helen want to get her mail? When all of us are vaccinated? When all
Exactly.
the UPS guys and all the guys from Amazon and all the guys from FedEx, is that what she wants to wait for?
Exactly.
This country would grind to a halt.
I'm blown away that, and I have friends who are nurses, and they work with other nurses who are like 65 years old who still want to get paid, so they go into work. And they, are around all sorts of sick people, and they still get stomach bugs, and some of them probably got COVID, but they're essential workers. So they're doing their jobs regardless. And for some reason, these teachers unions, I have to say that as the caveat, or else, Helen and her friends will call back. They're above that. They think they're above the fray, that like all of us should continue working and they're going to sit on the sidelines until world peace? Give me a break.